World of Ability. We are live on YouTube recording for our podcasting partners, Sue Roskoff hosting. Take it away, Sue.
Welcome to World of Ability. We are so glad to be here. We're here every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock Central, and we have some fun things coming up for everyone today, including some updates. But first, I'm going to start out with some sorry, I actually have a little creepy crawly walking by me here. So welcome to my little corner of the weird world today, World of Ability. Oh my gosh. And I lost it. So if I get up and scream at some point, don't be too thrown off. So Shakedown, you guys all know about Shakedown, right? We've talked about it before. We are actually just hopped over from being with our Shakedown crew and hopped over to here for World of Ability. So Shakedown. Actually, I'm wondering, I know Emily's here with us today. I wonder if you want to come on in and tell us a little bit about what is Shakedown? What is it that you like about it? What is it? And we just want to hear a little bit about that today. And then I'm going to share some of the fun things from that today. So Emily, want to come on in?
There we go. Getting myself spotlighted here. So yeah, welcome everybody. The 12 o'clock Shakedown was started a few years ago by a guy here in Madison named Jim, who has multiple sclerosis. And when the pandemic hit a few years ago, the whole notion of not moving as much and that kind of getting out and doing things and moving really affected him. And so he decided to get a group of some friends together and do this 12 o'clock Shakedown, which is 15 minutes of music and motion. So basically, it's just moving to music, like dancing to music. Sue has been leading it for the last, I don't know, a number of months, a year or so. Took over for Jim, who schedule changed once the pandemic kind of flipped it, and so he's back to being his busy schedule. But so you're going to do whatever you can do. I mean, you can follow what Sue is doing or anybody else is doing. If you can't do that, you can just do whatever movements you can, however modified or even totally different. It's just about we have been moving, so we're not like sitting, let's say, in front of your computer, TV, or whatever for hours on end and not moving. And so it's been a lot of fun. So that's 15 minutes, and then afterwards we have a little bit of a however long everybody wants to stick around and socialize. So that's pretty fun. And then we have a guy named Mark who comes and for the last, I don't know how long, he's been doing it a while now, puts up on his background like different like celebrity famous people's birthdays and whatever like fun sort of called like holiday it is for that particular day. So it's a lot of fun. Just you know, to with everybody and move, and then getting to know everybody that's showing up. We've had usually have like the same core group, but we've had other people like come and go, which is fine. We do live stream it out to Facebook, so to our 12 o'clock shakedown Facebook page. So it's all the words spelled out. So you can go on to Facebook page and watch the past lives. Otherwise, if you are brave enough, I don't know, that's probably not the right word, but if you're interested or would like to come on Zoom with us, we have our group on Zoom. I can just let us know. I can get you the Zoom link to join us on Zoom as well. But I see that we have our new friend joining us, named Glenn, who we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project. And he is a autistic photographer in our area, very close in Beloit, Wisconsin. And so I'm going to bring Glenn in here. Hi, Glenn.
Hi.
Should maybe say, like, to introduce yourself a little bit, say a little more about what you do and that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I'm an autistic nature photographer. I have an online store and I'm working on reaching out to autism organizations, mental health organizations to collaborate on promotional orders.
That's cool. Yeah, it's I was telling Glenn yesterday that I'm a part of the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin. So getting info yesterday to contact them. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, this goes along with our whole thing with abilities. Abilities, like anybody, doesn't matter what if you have a disability or not. You can do anything that you're mind to. Right, Sue?
That's exactly right. So Glenn, it's nice to meet you. I know we got to talk a little bit
Yeah.
last night. It's nice to get a face to go with the voice. How are you today?
Day 236 of my episode. My pain's at 4. I don't actually feel emotions that often. I was bullied most of my life, and that kind of altered my makeup. It gave me a bunch of mental illnesses and altered some other things like emotions. The episodes are a strange mental illness with a lot of different symptoms. Starts with dissociation, migraine headaches, confusion, slow thinking, balance issues, and it can go on from there. It always gets worse when I get triggered, and nights are worse than mornings. I don't want to take up too much time with that. If anybody wants more details, I can give them.
Oh, good. So I know you are a photographer. How did
Yes.
you get started with that?
I started hiking and photography at the same time in 2002. I wanted people to go hiking with me, so I started taking photos of what I saw. That didn't really happen. My brother went with me a few times when he was a teenager. And once I got a couple friends to go with me. And then my ex-wife, when we were dating, I got her to go with 2 or 3 times.
Excellent. Yeah,
But otherwise, I always go alone. It's not that I want to go alone. It's just trying to get somebody to go with me it's difficult to convince people to spend time in nature beyond just going hiking maybe once a year or something like that.
funny how that should that shouldn't be a hard thing to get people out in nature. And I'm glad you're able to take photos so that people can see the beauty out there. Now, do you end up taking a lot of like the landscape, or are you finding animals, or what kinds of things?
Animals are my favorite. I do landscapes when I find something more than just, I don't like taking photos of just trees unless it's fall colors.
Mm.
Or if I were to find a tree with an unusual shape, I might take a photo of that. I don't have any currently, but if I find one. I go hiking not so much now because I don't have a car, but I make it to zoos. And I go to the parks in my area. I get photos of flowers.
That
Where are
takes a
you going?
special-
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Actually, let's bring Debbie on in here. Hi, Debbie. So glad that you're joining us too.
Hi, Sue and everybody. Hi, Emily.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank Yeah, you. hi, Debbie. Glenn, so where are you? I'm curious where you're.
Beloit, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. So lots of trees up there.
Yeah.
Very good.
Actually, Debbie, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, a little bit of what you do, and I'm so glad you're back. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks very much for having me. Yeah, my name is Debbie Hayes. I love knowing that our pets have an opportunity to be safe and healthy. That is what our company does, is provide food, treats, and toys for our fur babies. And we also have a medicinal, well, a supplemental mushroom. It is not one that will make anyone or any pets high, but it does modulate the immune system. So it makes your body heal itself from the inside. So it works on a lot of different things. And we do have products for humans also. So we had a conference last week, and one of the things that really struck me was that they said that there is a billionaire who is representing the product. Now listen to what I said. I did not say somebody made $1 billion working for, representing the Pet Club products. Someone who was already a billionaire felt strongly enough about the products and the quality of the products and what they can do to be sharing them with people. So to me, that says a lot. The other thing that says a lot is that we have a conference and we spend about an hour and a half with people giving testimonials, either for themselves or for their customers. And it could be, as I said, it could be humans or it could be fur babies. So
That's fantastic, because that is something. Stories give you a way to relate to what's going on, and really stories are a huge way to convey the power of what you have. Kind of like with Glenn with the photos. Those photos convey what you're seeing and how beautiful it is out there, and all these things that you can see if you take the time and go. So actually, Debbie, do you want to share a couple of stories maybe that you heard?
yeah, and one of them, a couple of you guys have probably heard before, but there's a podcaster who ended up with throat and tongue cancer. So it was at the very back of his throat. And the medical people told him that they could remove it. He would have a 50% chance of talking after. And we're talking about a podcaster here who talks for a living. So that obviously was not a very satisfactory answer. And there were some other things. He did speak for quite a while last week. There were some other things that he was saying that they just kept saying this and this and this. And he goes, well, that's not much better. Well, that's not much better. So finally, he found out about our supplemental mushrooms before he started any other treatments. And so he decided that he would
go with the mushrooms because obviously that was better than the 50% chance of losing his voice. Excuse me. And so he started and he took a massive, what I call a massive dose, which is what people do if they have cancer or something like that, really serious, which was 10 capsules a day. The maintenance dose is 2 a day, just so you can compare. And when he went back, not quite 30 days and had his tumor checked again, it was about, but I'm a little bit confused. It was either 1/3 or 2/3 less than what it had been. But when he went back 30 days later, then he was declared in remission because it was so small at that point.
Amazing.
Yeah. And he was just like,
That's
we
awesome.
have an obligation. We have an obligation to tell people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love
So-
that. It's one of those, it's like, wow. You know,
Yeah,
really.
it is. I think it's a difference, Sue, between the big pharma approach of, oh yeah, I've got this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, and therefore I have to have this medicine, this medicine, this medicine. You know, one medicine for any little thing. All you have to do is watch ads on TV to figure out that that's what they believe. But here, God put this mushroom thousands of years ago, or probably when he created the earth. And animals would find it in the wild. And I'm assuming that somehow people at some point, again, thousands of years ago, realized that it was helping the animals. And so therefore tried it on themselves. And as I said, modulates from the inside out. So your immune system actually heals itself. So you have one pill, or we actually have 4, but some types of mushrooms that can do a variety of things. You know, so this particular fellow had cancer. One of my sponsors into the program had 5 autoimmune diseases, and she's no longer on medication or has any diagnoses. Her numbers are in the normal range for those autoimmune diseases.
It's
So,
stunning. That kind of thing can even be possible.
yeah.
People just
So
don't know that that's an option.
Everybody should be trying. Everybody should be trying it, either for themselves or for their pets, I believe.
Awesome. Amazing. So Glenn, have you ever heard of anything like that? That's why I love her stories,
Wow.
because it's like, wow, this is possible.
I know.
Well, on a smaller scale, I go back and forth with my diabetes. I got diabetes a few years ago, and I had gained weight, and then I ended up losing some of the weight, and it went away. And I ping-ponged back and forth a little bit. I'm currently in the pre-diabetes stage.
Yeah, it's hard when you have physical challenges that are part of your life. It makes things difficult, right?
Yeah.
That's where with World of Ability, we're trying to figure out again what abilities we have and what can we do with what we have, and to celebrate what we're all able to do. Because we all have challenges. We don't know what everybody else's challenge is. Person walking by on the sidewalk, I have no idea what's going on in their corner of the world. And that's where, you know, kindness and compassion goes a long ways, because they don't know what's going on with me. I don't know what's going on with them. But there's all these different ways that all these different people we've met along the way here that are amazing resources and have so much to offer. And, you know, with what you're telling us about Debbie and Glenn, with all the things you offer, that's what I love about this, that we're able to bring forward all these amazing different things that are out there, and to share it out so people know what's happening. So Debbie, now I'm curious then, with you said you just had that convention that just happened. You want to share a few more highlights? Is there other things that stood out as, because those are always fun. There's always that
Yeah.
social aspect, and then you learn so much. I know at different conferences I've gone to, I come home and I'm just like, okay, where do I start? Because there's so many things, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and what Glenn was saying about the diabetes, my my other sponsor, the husband, has been having quite a struggle with his diabetes for the last, I would say 6 to 8 months. And he finally started on our Clarity, which is for the brain and nerve. And so he went on a massive dose of that. And he went from using 60 units plus of insulin a day down to, as of a couple of days ago, it had been like 8 days he hadn't had any. And in the last like couple of weeks, he had 17 units.
Wow.
And his numbers are always like right around the 130, 125 to 130. He does check them twice a day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being able to find ways to resources that we can help ourselves. I love it. That's amazing.
So I'm sorry.
Go
See,
ahead.
Glenn, you're apologizing for talking too much, and then I'm going like on and on and on. One pet story. This now I've got two in my mind. Oh boy, what was I going to tell about? Sorry, senior
You're
moment.
good. Sometimes you get flooded with all the different ones.
I know, exactly. Yeah, because we also have a motivational call every morning, and every Tuesday she's giving us more. Okay, so this fella, one of the fellas, well, his group has a kiosk at the mall, and so a woman came up and was talking to him. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but she was like, my dog, I feel like I'm going to have to put him down. He's just not responding. He has no energy. And he's going, well, here, try these. Then it was the treats with the mushroom in them. And I think he recommended the Bucky Bites, which is a supplement for minerals, because a lot of times we don't think of our pets as needing minerals, but if they're out there chewing on rocks or grass or whatever, that can be a sign that they need minerals. So those 2 items. And she came back and she goes, I can't believe it. In one day, he was back to normal. I mean, one day he was like running around the yard. And so then she came back like maybe 3 months later and said, oh, I forgot to order. I've got to have him. He's back to where he was before. And then she took him. Okay, so maybe I have it confused. 3 or 4 days the first time. The second time, it was one day. And he goes, yeah, I know. She really didn't think it was them that did it. And so she didn't give them.
Now she knows. It really
Now
is.
she knows. She found out otherwise. Yes. But yeah, we get a lot of testimonials for animals who are not feeling that great. And then they are again.
And that's why always a soft spot in my heart, because we've got our own fur baby here, and whenever there's anything that's not just right, it's like it breaks my heart because she can't tell me what's wrong.
Right.
I just know, oh my gosh, she's scratching her ears, or whatever it is that happens to be happening. What do I do? Sometimes that's a real helpless feeling, and there's got to be some way we can help, but it's a matter of figuring out what is that. And you do have a magic solution. In my head, I'm calling it magic because it really is something that makes a difference. And how that works, I don't know, but it does. And I'm so glad to know that that's out there.
Yeah. And we look for people, for people and for pets that don't have a physical problem as well. I mean, because I give him to my dog, and he actually had some issues that I didn't really think of as issues when I first started. And by the end of the first month, he was not scratching anymore. He didn't have the dripping from his eyes, just like on and on, all these improvements. I mean, he wasn't really sick, but
it still helped.
right. But now, like you said, he scratches one time and I go,
Yep.
But yeah, so we're looking to keep animals and humans healthy as well.
Yeah, excellent. I love it. So Glenn, do you happen to have any pets at all?
No, not right now. I had a dog for almost 2 years. I was trying to get her trained as a service animal, but I didn't have the money to get her training done, and I was not very good at training a dog. So I had to give her up.
Oh, that's hard. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hard job though to know all the things to be able to train them to do what you need. That's a whole nother level. I have a lot of respect for those that are able to do all those things, to train. Actually, at work the other day, there's a student that had a dog that was, it had a vest on that said, please don't pet me. I forget,
Working.
this particular dog was not a working dog just yet, but yeah, working basically, because she was still in training. And
Yeah.
I was so impressed how calm and just doing all the things perfectly, you know, in a place where a lot of animals would have been maybe anxious or just excited because there were so many people around, just laying on the floor and just minding her own business and doing exactly what she's supposed to do. And I was pretty impressed. And how a person goes about training a dog to do all the things that would be day in, day out, you know, not to say all those amazing details of those specific tasks that they're trained to do to help a particular person, just all the general social pieces too. I mean, there's so many different levels to that, and it's a lot. And but service animals do so much for so many people. Oh,
Yeah.
I absolutely love what's out there, and wish it was even more available than it is. But I don't know how many people think of that, of, you know, rather than just having a dog yourself, to have a dog short term so that you can be the one to train them to do all the things that they do. There was one person I worked with a long time ago that was something she did. She would have a dog for about a year at a time. And that was what she did. She trained that dog to be a service animal. And that's where had the dog at work, and it's like, you never got to pet the dog, you know, because it always was working and in training, which was awesome. But to have that patience, that skill, all the things needed to make that happen, I'm impressed. I love it. That's a dedicated heart to be able to do all that.
Yeah, I went to an event last night, and somebody came in and I didn't even pay attention really to the vest. I just assume that the service animals, you're not supposed to pet them, because that's what they say a lot. And
It's
so
up to the handler.
Yeah.
I guess it is, because the dog walked right up to me and started sniffing my hand, and I said, I guess I'm not supposed to pet him. And, oh yeah, you can pet him, that's fine. And so I pet him, and then I noticed on the vest, it says, I'm a service dog, ask to pet me, or something like that. It didn't just give a blanket okay, but because I'm assuming there might be situations where they might not want that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hadn't realized that before. I thought they were all no-nos.
Yeah, that's something that, again, somebody who hasn't even been around a service animal before, I've seen that often. Actually, there's a friend of ours that has a service animal that he brings with if he goes out and about. And the number of times, especially kids don't know. I mean, they see a dog and they're like, oh my gosh, a dog, you know, and they'll walk right up and start petting, and it's hard. But it's at the same time, what a great learning opportunity to say, I'm sorry, but my dog is working right now. You know, you can't pet him right now. I'm sorry, you know, whatever, however nicely, he's good at wording things nicely. But that's at least a first experience for someone then to understand that, oh, service animal, yeah, they're working. I shouldn't be here distracting the animal, you know, because if you've never seen that before,
Right.
it's something to think about. So that's great. And
Yeah.
well, and even if I'm just thinking in animals in general, even to go beyond that, if you're out at a park, I know that's something too, where not every dog is one that you want to just go running up to. And it's always a good idea to ask the owner,
Yeah.
can I pet your dog? And that was something I honestly didn't think that much about until I have a dog, you know, and we're out and about. She's pretty good with people. She's great, actually. But you know what? Everybody's first, and at least what I've experienced, the first thing people want to do is pet the dog's head, right? That she hates that. Our dog hates that. Even with us, it's like she trusts us and will let us touch her head, but she doesn't like her head being touched. And there's a lot of dogs like that. It's like now that I'm starting, once you have a dog and you have all those extra experiences that you don't normally get to see if you're just, seeing one randomly, having that other perspective on it of, okay, I know how my dog reacts with others, and to be able to see that elsewhere and get that realization out there is just, it's, I find it really interesting. And the more people know, the more accepting it can be, and how more open you can be with your dogs. So it's
Do
fun.
you go to the dog park, Sue? Do you take your dog? To the dog?
My daughter does more than I do. So she's the one that makes it over there a lot more often than I do. So yeah, she's the one that's the expert there.
Okay. I always try to tell people this because I learned it from somebody at the dog park. That if two dogs get in an altercation, which at the dog park sometimes they do. I don't know if you've ever witnessed it, but I've witnessed a few times. And to go up behind the dog that's the aggressor and lift up the hind legs.
Really? I have never heard that.
Well, but think about it. The dog's got to worry about his balance then. So he's
Yeah.
going to let go of the dog that he's attacking. But because you've got, well, actually one time I kept yelling at the owners, grab the hind legs, and they, they were like, they didn't know what was going on. So I just went up, and I even only got one leg, and they still don't have enough. They can't reach you to bite you as long as you're holding them like that with one or two
Wow.
legs. So it's keeping you safe, but then it's also getting the dog that's being attacked safe. Yeah, there was somebody at the dog park when I started going there that knew that, and that there was an altercation, and they did it, and it worked beautifully. So I'm like, everybody needs to know that, because if you go to the dog park, it can happen.
Oh, I appreciate that tip, because I like, as long as I've been doing all these things, that one I've never heard. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I don't think I hadn't really heard that one either, so
Yeah.
it's good information to know.
Do you have a pet, Emily?
Not right now. I used to have a dog and a rabbit and a couple pets, but I don't have any
Ah.
right now. Maybe sometime soon, but not right now.
The last pet that we had before the dog was actually pet rats. And that usually surprises people, because and rats actually are a really good pet. I never would have thought that. Ask me that a decade ago, I would have said, not on your life. But they are really good. I work with them at my job, and when we're done working with them there, we adopt them out. And a couple of different times we've adopted rats, and I consider them little dogs. Actually, they're really smart. They're actually very clean, believe it or not. The biggest thing people have trouble with is actually getting over the fact that their tail is not furry. That's something that I've come across, that it's like, oh, I just can't handle the tail, because it feels kind of, I don't want to say scaly exactly, but kind of, and it's different. But they are so smart and so sweet. Somewhere I actually have pictures. Halloween's coming up. There was one Halloween when we had the rats. I dressed up as a witch, and one of the rats sat on my shoulder as I was answering the door for the trick-or-treaters. And I kid you not, I was 50-50 if the kids actually saw the animal or not. Every one of them that saw it was like, oh, and they didn't say, I like your rat. They said, oh, I like your mouse. Everybody thinks it's a mouse. It was big. It's a rat. I'm sorry. But they loved it, or they were so concentrating on the bucket of candy that they didn't see it at all. It was one or the other. So
That's funny.
that was a fun experience.
Now,
Only got to do that one year.
Believe it or not, I have a customer who has 2 rats for her pets.
Mhm.
And she, I said the other, I don't know, last month was when we started talking about this, about the mushrooms, the supplemental mushrooms. And she a couple days later, she goes, yeah, I asked them if they thought this would be something that would be good for them. And they said, yes. But the
Excellent.
The good thing about one of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom is the one that it's called the king of mushrooms. And that's the one that we use primarily. But one of the forms, it's in a pill, but it also comes in a capsule. So like with the rats, for example, or even if you have like a tortoise or something, a bird that you wouldn't think could have supplements, you can open up the capsule and sprinkle the powder for them. And that's what she wants to do. And then she said their teeth really need something. And so in addition to the Bucky bites, which are the mineral things, that we also have some, actually I have one right here. We also have some chews of various sizes. So she wants to get them a chew so that it'll be good for their teeth. She told me why that was, and I forget, but maybe you know, Sue.
I believe their teeth grow, that they keep growing. They need to chew on things to keep them.
Okay, so that must be it. Yeah. So
that's fantastic.
that's something.
Yeah.
So a good referral for me would be somebody that's adopting your rats from work, Sue.
Excellent. Yeah, because our rats end up being like college educated because they learn how to hit a lever to get a treat. They are all with the psychology program. So we've got a great experience for them there. But Glenn, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, I got a photo of an eagle from 40 feet away about 10 years ago.
Wow.
I was out eagle watching out in Prairie du Chien, and I stopped down in Cassville, then back to Prairie du Chien. And I wasn't getting anything I was happy with. They were all too far away. Because an eagle doesn't come up next to you or anything. You're usually seeing an eagle half a mile away.
Right.
But that's a little dot on a photo, even with a good lens. So anyway, I gave up for the day and I was heading home. I got probably about 20 miles or so, and I saw this eagle on the side of the highway. So I pulled over. Well, I turned around and parked across from it on the shoulder. And then another car came up on the same side as the eagle was on, and they were holding their hands out with their phones trying to get photos of the eagle and scared it away.
Oh no.
They left. I waited. The eagle came back out of hiding a few minutes later, went back to eating its roadkill, and then a few minutes later, an Amish guy comes up in his horse and buggy, scares the eagle away again. Eagle goes and hides. Well, there was like a little rise at the edge of the field, and the eagle would hide behind there. So I waited, and by this time I'm texting everybody in my phone. I'm getting photos of an eagle 40 feet away. A few minutes later, the eagle comes down, doesn't fly over this time. It walks down the rise. And I got shots of it away from the roadkill at that point. Got 3 good ones. One with it in profile, one with it facing, one with a talon raised.
Wow.
Not sure how
Awesome.
many shots I got with the roadkill.
That's such a cool experience. Oh my goodness.
And that's the closest, well, obviously, because they're not going to fly up near you. So
Yeah,
that has to be the closest that you've gotten to one, right? To get a picture.
except at zoos.
Pardon me?
Except at zoos.
Yeah.
Wow. That had to
Yeah,
be so
and
cool to
I-
be that close.
I kept taking photos until he turned and saw me. And then he went and hid behind the rise. A few minutes later, he was behind a different spot in the rise, and he peeked his head over like he was playing peekaboo with me.
I love that.
That's very
Trying to
cute.
play games with you.
He was keeping an eye on you.
Yep.
Yeah, he wanted to go back to the roadkill.
Oh my goodness. Did he end up coming back out again then, or was he
No,
waiting
the
till
sunset,
left
he
at
went,
that-
he went and, what's the word? Roosted somewhere.
Ah,
Took off.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, what a cool experience.
Do you have any pictures handy that you could show us your photos, like hold them up on the screen there?
One moment.
Oh, great question. I love that.
Yeah, I was gonna say something too, but
This is one of them.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
look at
that's
Wow.
awesome. That's an awesome picture.
It is.
that right at you. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to let you know that he's the king.
Yeah.
That he's looking here.
That was 10 years ago, 1 week after I bought my first DSLR. So I was still learning how to use the camera itself,
Oh
because
jeez.
I'd had point and shoot cameras before that. And if it would have been today, I probably would have scared the eagle away, because I have a bigger lens now that would have stuck farther out the window.
Ah,
I just had two lenses at the time. I had a smaller telephoto. Now I have a larger telephoto, so I can get closer to the animals, but that close, if they see you, they're gone.
yeah.
If they're looking the other way, you can get as close as you want, but that's difficult to do.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta have to be in stealth mode a little bit so you don't startle them or get them to notice
Yeah.
you.
So do you have, I'm looking at your information. Do you have your photos posted somewhere, the ones that you have available?
Yes, on my website.
Hmm.
Okay.
I have over 600 photos on the website.
Oh, wow.
I have over 300 in a folder ready to be uploaded. And then I don't know how many good ones I'll get from this year's batch.
But that's beautyofnature22.com.
Yes,
Perfect. I'll take a look at them.
thank you.
Oh, how fun.
Yep.
So where's your favorite place to go? I know you said you go hiking into the zoo. Is there like a certain place where you typically come across animals, or?
Places where it's different types of environments bordering each other. That's where you
Ah.
see more animals, because you'll see different ones go across from one zone to another, and it attracts the animals.
Could you give an example of that? Because I'm not picturing it.
Yeah, Cadiz Springs is a good place for animals because it has a couple of lakes. So it's got the wetland area, it's got a marsh, and it's got forest and prairie all compact within, I don't know how many acres the park is, but it's on a small scale. It's not all spread out like some parks where you have a mile or half a mile of this one zone. At Cadiz Springs, it's 500 to 1,000 feet of this zone, and then that big an area of the next zone, and they're all close together.
Excellent. I know around here, like there's a cornfield that's right next to the woods, and I know that's a spot where I typically will
Yeah.
see the animals, whether it's deer or turkeys. We have a lot of turkeys around here too. But a lot of different critters that are. There's that spot where it is like right between where the field starts and where the woods are. that tends to be a spot where if I'm looking for them, that's going to be the first spot right there.
Mhm.
So, oh yeah, it's so fun to see wildlife out there. It's
It is.
relaxing, I find, and exciting. I know when you're talking about the eagle story, there was a time I still remember. I'm trying to remember how old I was though. If I was still in high school, I think, and my family was out fishing. We're sitting in the boat, and up north, there's an eagle nest up there. There were several different eagles flying around over above us, and it was just so fun. We're sitting there catching fish, and they're just flying here and there, and how
Wishing they had those fish.
yeah, pretty much. Like you're gonna share those, right? But it was just so impressive. They're majestic. You know, I love eagles, and that picture you
Yeah.
had was beautiful.
Thank you.
It is.
So now you said you've got those photos on a website. So are people able to
Yes.
purchase those from you then, or what do you
Yes.
all do with them?
Yes, my online store, I have t-shirts, tote bags, cards, mounted photos, framed photos. There's a few other things that I haven't added yet, but I need to. Fleeces, pillows, mugs.
Awesome. That I love it. That, and you obviously can see the quality of what you do, even just with the one photo we've seen so far here.
Mhm.
So fun.
Sure.
Excellent. So I was going to throw this back over by Emily to see what other things might be happening that we should be highlighting. I know there's an event coming up next Friday. I want to make sure to get a mention of that. Do you want to share that info?
Next Friday. The Happy Neighborhood Project has two major events. And one of them is next Friday. Is the Global Happiness Summit. That is from 9 to 3 Pacific, 11 to 5 Central, where there is going to be speakers, vendors, prizes, giveaways, speed networking, among I'm sure other things, but those are the big things. And the cost is only $10, and you can go to the Happy Neighborhood Project website, happyneighborhoodproject.com/GHS, and get your tickets there. If you are looking to be a vendor, it's $100 to have a vendor booth, but you do not need to be there the whole 6 hours. You can come and go if you need to. And it's happens every October, and it's a very fun event. So I encourage everybody to get a ticket and join us on that day.
Between the speakers and the networking, they do what do they call it with the speed networking?
Speed networking.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fast. It's just like it sounds. So Debbie, you've done it before. You want to explain what that is?
Yeah. So speed networking, I'm trying to think, 3 minutes.
I think
Is it
it's
anyway?
minutes,
It's a short amount of time, and basically it's time enough to introduce yourself and say a very short summary of what you do. The way they have it set up, Glenn, is that you fill out a profile when you register.
Okay.
It's, oh, we didn't say it's on hopin.com.
So I meant to say that.
Yeah,
it's hopin.com.
hopin.com. It's not on Zoom. Most of the activities are on Zoom. But so you go to Hopin and you set up a profile. And when you give them your profile information, they have artificial intelligence who matches you for the speed networking with somebody that should have similar interests. So, somebody that says they like artwork or whatever, then, hopefully you would be matched with them to do the one-to-one speed networking.
Okay.
That's really why I go for the speed networking.
You
I'm
meet a
not-
lot of people in a short amount of time. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
And you can skip the other stuff and keep going to speed networking. Somebody did 80 people in the.
Oh my
six-
goodness.
That was like a year or two ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So they obviously went to no breakout rooms or anything. They just stayed and did speed networking, I think, the whole time. I don't know how else you could get in all those, but
Yeah, and it's actually another nice feature of it. You both have to opt in then to connect. So in that 3 minutes, if you say, yes, I want to share details, and the other person says, yes, I want to share details, then say next week you go back into your Hopin profile, you can look all of those people back up again. Anytime after the fact, you're still able to see who was it that you both said, yes, let's connect. You can go back and follow up with them that way then.
Yeah, both people have to say or connect in order for it to save. So you can go back and look at it. If only one person does it, then I don't think it really saves, but both
Yeah, that's
people-
my understanding.
if one person doesn't, I think they're rude.
I know.
I mean, if you're gonna come to meet people,
Yeah,
why
right.
would you opt out of meeting people? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Exactly. Yeah, the only thing I've come across is people that were still not understanding how that part worked. It's like, no, click the button, click the button.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
agree.
great. It's a fun event. I know in the past, some of the speakers that have been on there have been pretty phenomenal. Barry Joy is one of my favorites when he comes on because he's the ambassador of joy. and
Yeah,
if
very
you've ever
sure.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, very sure.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So I
Yeah,
have
with
not
the-
seen the list of who's speaking this year. Have they said who's all going to be there, or is this going to be a surprise? I've missed it if they've said it.
I'm not sure if I've heard
Yeah.
saying who's going to be there either, but
It sort of all jumbles together because they just had the in-person thing last week. So
Yep,
I know they were talking about who was going to be speaking at that event, but
I suppose they're probably trying to do one and then the next because yeah, it's easy to get confused which is which with who's doing what, and yeah, I agree.
yeah.
So yeah,
But, yeah.
that day, as much as I can be on there, I will be on there too. So hopefully we'll see you in the neighborhood over there.
I'm glad you said that. I still have to get my ticket. That's what happens when they keep, because it usually, Glenn, before they've like raised the price, it starts out $10 and then if closer it gets to the event, they raise it. This time they said, okay, it's going to be $10 and we're going to keep it the $10 the whole time. So then you have people like me that go, okay, well, I can manana,
You're not the only one. As we were talking, I just wrote that down of my to-do list today because I haven't gotten mine yet either. I'm going to, but
I'm so glad I'm not.
it will be done before the day's done. That I know.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So,
And
you
work
know,
on my profile. We got to do it enough to update our profile too. You can't do it at the
Agreed.
very last second.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've done a real good job. I think there's a lot more I could be putting into that profile piece, and I haven't spent much time on it. So bad on me. I'm glad you said that because I do
Yeah.
need to go on and get that all in there because yeah, that helps so much. It's such an easy way to connect with people.
I think using
yeah.
the profile from LinkedIn, what you've written about yourself on your profile from LinkedIn would be a good guideline.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I just
That
thought of
makes it
that.
easy.
Just thought of it.
That makes it super easy. I love it. And I'm actually just
think
starting to, go ahead.
yeah, I think the more you have in there, or more keywords or more you have in there might help with
Right.
the connecting and the like speed networking.
Excellent. Yeah, I know I'm playing a little bit with the Now site programming here too. I'm working on getting a website going with what we're doing here with World of Ability and all these things. So I'm looking forward to getting that in a more complete fashion. I'm still learning. So there's a learning curve and how that works. So I'm working on it, and soon we'll have a lot more available here with the podcasting we're doing, which by the way, do you know today is International Podcast Day. It actually is.
Yay.
When I heard that, because when we did the shakedown earlier today, Mark always tells us at the end what, and actually I've got the list. If you don't mind, I would love to share all the fun things about today. He'll do internet, or he'll do celebrity birthdays as well. Usually, because we're 15 minutes of music in motion, so often he'll share those that have that music background. I didn't write those down, but I do have all the other ones because it was a pretty long list today. And you'd be surprised at what gets celebrated and what has special days throughout the year. But the one that got me was, it is International Podcast Day today. And we're doing our podcast today. So I'm more excited than I should be about that. But,
I'm glad it made your day, Sue.
That one made my day. It is also International Rabbit Day. So for those who had the pet rabbits, it is International Rabbit Day. It is, this one kind of was like, whoa, a day for everything, but it is National Puppy Mill Survivor Day. So speaking of animals, like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, okay, that's a good one. It is also National Pet Tricks Day. So if you've got a pet and you are been putting off teaching them a new trick, today's a great day to do that. Speaking of rats, when we were talking about, you can really teach rats to do a lot of tricks. You can teach them a lot. They are smart animals. So for those who've never considered a pet rat, they're amazing. Okay, so it is also, okay, this one I don't understand, but it's National Thunderbird Day. So I'm not familiar with Thunderbird, but today is National Thunderbird Day. It is National, oh my gosh, Glenn, this one's for you. It is National Save Your Photos Day. Oh, I like that one. It is National Save Your Photos Day. So if you need to do that, now is the time. I actually have more photos on my phone than my phone likes. Let's put it that way. My phone is full right now. I need to get everything moved, and today should be a good day for that too. It is Ghost Hunting Day. That is not my shtick, but I know people who are very, very into that. So that's today. It is Extra Virgin Olive Oil Day.
Oh my
How random
gosh.
is that?
Yeah, that's very random.
It is also Hot Mulled Cider Day. It is National Mud Pack Day. So if you need to do a beauty something today is National Mud Pack Day. And last but not least, it is Chewing Gum Day. So yeah, exactly.
Well, then tomorrow must be Dentist Day.
Oh, there we go. I will pay attention to find out because at the end of the shakedown, so we have our group that does a shakedown every day, 12 o'clock noon, 15 minutes of music in motion. And at the end, Mark is always so kind to he has a different background behind him every day because he looks all those up and he shares them with us.
Well, I wrote as many as I could down because I don't have a pen to write with. So now it's saved in the chat for all of you.
Excellent. Thank you for doing that. So, and we do have a group on Facebook. So that's where, if you want to join, if anybody ever wants to join us on Zoom and do the shakedown with us, you're welcome to it. We can get that link out. We also do it live on Facebook every day in the 12 o'clock shakedown group. So that's something that people can go there and find it. And we post the photo as well. So we always take a photo of the group, and that's all there with all the cool things to be able to follow along too. So it's fun. And literally every day of the year at 12 o'clock noon, we are on there. So have we missed it? I don't think we've ever missed a day since we've started this. I think there's been a couple times where the Facebook Live maybe didn't happen, but I don't think there's ever been a day since this group started that we've completely not done it. So hats off to that group. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I was gonna say, Emily, you'd have to fact check me on that. I think that I'm saying that true.
Yeah.
So I actually had another thing I could share with you guys. So have you heard of Project Die Hard? I don't know if that's come across your way yet. Project Die Hard, actually, I now have the shirt, Project Die Hard, because Kurt and I are ambassadors with Project Die Hard. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read this because I have a new flyer in my hand here as well. It is a faith-based, scripture-led veteran nonprofit organization with, and they say they got complete financial transparency. All donate this flyers for raising money for them, because all donations go to bring hope to veterans, and they work with the blessings they receive. Did you know veterans make up 6.4% of the population? So their veterans are 6.4% of the population, but make up 57% of all suicides. That is hard to have that statistic soak in. So this group, Project Die Hard, they are all about bringing hope to veterans and are creating a space for them to get the help they need, because there's obvious challenges that take place when you go from being an active military, active in the military, and then coming back to civilian life. I've heard over and over about how the challenges is there, because there's not really a support for that. It's just, here's your life, and then boom, you're back home. Good luck. Thank you for your service. You're on your way now. And I haven't experienced it myself. So I don't have a military background. So I don't know what that's like. I can imagine, and I know stories I've been told and things I've heard. And the reason why a group like this even exists is because of that challenge, and that the suicide is that prevalent among veterans. I mean, that alone rings bells and sends up red flags of, wait a second, we need to do something. So with what Project Die Hard is, it is a group that is, like I said, bringing hope to veterans. There's a location that is being created. The property is there, and it is in Paducah, Kentucky, is where you find Brian Gibson, who is the guy who is putting this all together. And he is doing everything he can to create this property where, I forget how many acres it is out there. There's a property that was donated to the group, and they're working on getting the facility created and in proper order to be able to have veterans housed there. There's room, and actually, Emily, I know you've got a lot of information about Project Die Hard and what that all looks like. You want to share what you know about the group too?
Okay, so the building is a 10,000 square foot building on 20 acres in McCanda, Illinois, which is basically just over the border from Kentucky into Illinois. And they're going to renovate it, the building, to be sort of an extended stay facility for veterans, to help veterans for up to a year with any help that they need, with anything at any time, but especially for helping during the transition between active duty and civilian life. I think the facility can have up to like 12 single veterans, and then a couple of veterans with their families, to be able to stay there for as short amount of time as they want, up to a year. So it's a great organization, great program that should have more of those around. But Project Die Hard is looking to have one of those facilities, more of those facilities around the country, and naming each one of them after someone who has lost their life to suicide.
And one of the things that they're doing, 22 is the number that has for years has been like the number that they used to always promote of how many veterans lose their life to suicide in a day, every day. The number now is, I believe it's like twice that. I don't know if it was 47. It's crazy in my mind to think that they have gone from 22, and it was starting to get known about that and trying to reduce that number, that it's gone the other way and it's more than doubled. So one thing that they are looking for is patrons to hop on the bandwagon here and to do donations to help make this facility a reality. And ideally, they would love to have people participating at the $22 a month kind of a level. And actually on here, I think if I can get the card on here long enough, there's a QR code here where it's just a matter of scanning that, and I'll bring that back up in a moment so that if anyone wants to get a camera out to do that, as they're seeing any of this, that's a way to, it's a direct link to where that happens, where you can actually set yourself up for such a thing. So, and it says right on here, your donation is the ammunition to fight the war on veteran suicide. So it's all a matter of joining the fight and making a difference. So Debbie, I know you're saying, I appreciate you so much with being here. You said you got to go. Any last words before you hop off?
No, just everybody have a good day. Have a good podcast day.
Awesome.
Oh, I did put a note about Tuesday evening. We're having a Zoom about the products and 7 p.m. Pacific. So if anybody can make it, just text me and I'll send you the link.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. We love having you join us, Debbie. You're the best.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great day.
Debbie.
So yeah, she's been a repeat guest here. And so just to repeat what she had just said too, that she has an event on this coming Tuesday night. They're having a Zoom about products that she was talking about and Pet Club. So it is at 7 o'clock Pacific time. And to message Debbie directly for the link, and she put her phone number in the chat. I'll just say it out loud for anyone who's not able to see the chat, that it is a matter of texting her for that link at 520-419-5922. The number again, 520-419-5922. And that is direct to Debbie. And yeah, any questions you might have about anything she was talking about, feel free to reach out to her. She's pretty fabulous. We've known her for a while now, and she's a good friend of the show here. So Glenn, I'm just going to bring it back over to you here to see what thoughts you have along the way here with all the different things we've been talking about. I didn't know if there's anything in particular at the top of your mind right now that you wanted to talk about.
Sure. Can tell you about my experience with disability.
That'd be wonderful.
I was always disabled, but I didn't know it. I didn't know I was autistic until I had a nervous breakdown at 36. Just different things going on, and I couldn't handle my anxiety through the roof. Doesn't describe where my anxiety was at that time. I couldn't handle it. I had a nervous breakdown, and at that time got diagnosed with autism, depression, anxiety, somatoform disorder. If you don't know what somatoform disorder is, it's like anxiety times 10, where it's actually causing physical symptoms that do not have a physical cause. I was off work for about 7 weeks at that time, and then I went back to work. They wouldn't let me do the job I had previously done because they were worried about stressing me out. So I had to do a job that was physically harder. And everybody was rushing to do the job. They were walking where they didn't really have to walk because everything was on a line and it would come to you. But they were walking 50 feet to go and pull the product off the line. And I wasn't doing it because the line moves. You can wait till it gets up to that point and take it off there. And I got in trouble for that. Anyway, then my episodes took over, and that changed everything. I was no longer able to do factory or warehouse work. My psychiatrist said I could do a desk job. So they let me apply for one of the jobs in the office and they didn't hire me for it. So then,
That's hard.
yeah. So then I had used up all of my FMLA time, my 3 months. They let me use up what was left of my vacation, and that was it. I was out of a job.
Mm.
Then I struggled trying to find something I could actually do. I tried being a school photographer and they never gave me an explanation. They let me take photos for a week and then they made me an assistant, and the only reason they gave was that they needed more assistants. And then I moved on to another job at a returns facility that was temporary, and then went to Walmart working third shift doing stocking. And shortly afterwards, the episodes started acting up really bad again. They would happen while I was at work. At that time, the episodes weren't 24/7 like they are now. They would come and go. But at that time, I didn't know how to really handle the episodes, how to do anything when they were affecting me. And what I would do was take a nap when it happened, because at that time, I would take an hour nap and it would go away for the day. And they wouldn't let me leave. So I would go in the break room and take an hour nap, go back to work, end up getting in trouble because I didn't get enough product put away. They kept putting me in departments where it was all small items, so you could never get through enough pallets to make the quota. When an episode would come on before work, I would call in and then I would make an appointment to see my doctor and get a note. Well, this happened several times, and finally they weren't happy with my attendance, so they let me go. I tried opening a studio. That didn't go well. And then my mental health took a turn. Ended up, I was suicidal for a while. Took a long time to get out of that. But I had stopped my meds because I couldn't afford them at the time. When I started back on meds again, they put me on state insurance so I could get my meds and everything, and ended up applying for disability. Then my living situation changed. That was a big mess. I ended up in Beloit at what's it called? Britton House, which is basically one step above a homeless shelter. Your apartment was a bedroom with a bed, a nightstand, a mini fridge, a microwave, a closet, a dresser. That's it. Shared bathrooms, shared kitchen. And because of my episodes, I was banned from the kitchen. So I had to eat what I could eat out of the microwave or cold for several months until my disability came through. And I still had no income at that point. I had family helping me out a little bit. My brother had bought my car and he was doing payments, making my monthly bills for me and making sure I had a little bit of cash for miscellaneous things. Then my disability came through. I paid off what debts I knew of at the time. And I got a real apartment after that. In between, my diagnoses increased. They added OCD, PTSD. I think the hallucinations started later. I didn't work for about 2 years. Then I went back to work and it was a struggle getting a workplace to actually keep me on more than just temporary. I had 2 temporary jobs in 2020. And then 2021, I finally got hired on at Pizza Hut as a prep cook. Now, ever since my nervous breakdown, I've been very open with all of my diagnoses. I figure if somebody doesn't like me because of what I have, that's their problem, not mine. I don't hide it. I don't make excuses. I have bad days sometimes, and when I have a bad day, I tell people exactly what is going on, why things aren't working right. Pizza Hut has been very good to me. I'll show you if I can get it. I made up note cards with all my diagnoses and all the symptoms of my episodes, and I show it to every manager when I first work with them, so they know what's going on with me. I have easier responsibilities than everybody else because of the episodes. And I also have permission to leave work early if I'm having a bad day due to them. You know, they've been very good with me. I can't say enough about that. Last year, I restarted my business. I had been in business before, but I hadn't really had any success. It was basically the same. It was selling my photos on products. And at that time, I was selling in person. I worked at a factory with 200 people, so I would come across people to talk to about it all the time. And I had a few people that bought different things several times. But then when I stopped working at the factory, I lost all my contacts. And so restarting the business again under a new name and trying to do it online has been difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces to learn on what to do and how to do it. And actually getting the online piece going, I know I'm personally struggling with that because that's not my expertise. It's not like it's terribly hard, but still knowing all the pieces and how to do it, that takes time takes time and a lot of effort. Yeah, finding an employer that can understand and work with whatever is going on is such a huge blessing. That's something that I'm so glad you found a place that is accommodating as they should be. You know, I'm so glad you found a good place. And to anyone out there who is a manager, supervisor, all of those, to be open and understanding and compassionate, that goes a long ways and makes all the difference. And it's not that hard. It's just that often it's just that willingness and finding that right fit.
Michelle, all employers are that way.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, in this world, that's not the case. But in an ideal world, they would be.
But I think you've done a great thing. Maybe
Yeah.
others can take a note from how you've made note cards that you've done a lot of proactive pieces to help make that a workable situation. So because you know yourself the best, you know, and others haven't had that chance yet to get to know you, so that you had put something together that would be a tool like that, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, so it'd help them understand more of your situation. So if something did happen, then whatever, that they.
That's exactly why I share everything.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great, being open and straightforward like that really makes a difference. So I'm so glad for you that you found a good place and that you've figured out. I mean, and it wasn't like that was something I'm sure that came to you as a way to go about this on day one. I mean, it takes time and effort and experience to really understand that, you know what, this is going to be the right piece for what you need. And that's not the kind of thing that I hope, as others are seeing this too, that they can take that to heart themselves, to be, maybe this is a tool in their tool belt that they need, that this is a way to help them move forward too. So I really thank you for sharing all this.
Yeah.
So, and I'd love to ask you more about your photography too, because I know that's, so remind me again, how long have you been doing the photography? I think you said it earlier.
Since I started the business, or since I started taking photos?
Well, since you started taking photos.
2002.
2002. Okay, so you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I had a cheap 35mm camera and I barely knew how to change the film.
Yeah, so it's been like a decade.
So have you done 2 decades? Yeah.
2 decades, yeah.
Did you end up taking classes to learn how to do all this, or have you taught yourself a lot of what you do?
I'm 98% self-taught. I took 3 non-credit courses, which taught me about natural light, a little bit about composition, and then got me shooting in manual mode, because before then I was shooting on automatic.
There's a lot of things to know with how to make that switch. And I know I love photography myself, but I've never slowed down to actually take those pointers to understand, you know, all the, you know, the aperture and all these different things that are things you can adjust. Okay, what does this one do compared to what does this one do? I should slow down at some point and learn those pieces, because when you understand how those all work together, that's where you can do the amazing things that you're doing and make those spectacular photos.
And every situation is different. The lighting changes, the distance to the subject changes, what you want as the subject changes. It all affects the settings that you want.
Wow. And the more you do and the more you practice, so that's where having 20 years of experience under your belt, you've had a chance to learn these very well. So, on an ideal day, where would you be and what kind of things would you be taking pictures of? I think I already have a glimpse of it maybe, but I'm curious.
Ideal day?
Yeah.
Waterfall.
Ooh.
Waterfalls calm me down. They are special places for me. Every chance I get to go to a waterfall, I do.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I love waterfalls too.
I tried going to a waterfall last month when I rented a car, but the particular waterfall I went to, the water was not flowing due to drought.
Oh, no. That's
But I'm taking a
disappointing.
trip next month to a different waterfall, and I already called the information line, and they said the water is flowing there. That one, it's a river, so it's harder for that to dry up than a stream.
Excellent. Is that in Wisconsin?
Yes, Dells of the Eau Claire. It's near Wausau,
Oh,
about
sure.
20 miles east.
Excellent.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
yeah, I
That
know-
one, there's rocks in the middle of the river, and you can walk out on some of these rocks.
Oh, wow.
The waterfall isn't one big drop. It's a lot of many little drops. A foot here, 2 feet there, 4 foot there, all over the place.
Awesome. That sounds beautiful.
I've picnicked on that spot before.
Oh, so you do know the area. You've been there before. That helps.
Yes, I've been there twice before.
Oh, fun. Very fun. So, well, Emily, is that something you've ever done? Have you done much with photography and that type of thing outdoors?
Maybe a little. I mean, I had a photography class in high school. And we
Oh, cool.
I developed our own pictures and stuff. But I haven't taken pictures, like gone out and taken pictures like Glenn has or anything like that. But I do like it though.
Excellent. Yeah, actually, there was a time, I think that's a couple years ago now. Oh, I'm not a blank on the name of, I might have to have Kurt pop something in the chat here. There were some friends that we met actually back when the pandemic started that are from California, and they do a lot with photography, and actually with doing adaptive photography. They have a lot of different ways to get out in nature for those who have any kind of challenge for how they take their photos, whether it's a physical challenge or whatever it might be. We've actually been on Zooms like this a couple of different times where it's been a little while now, but they have done sessions with actually live while we're on here. They'll describe different techniques for how to make it be a good photo. What makes a good photo? And then they'll say, okay, take 20 minutes, go take some pictures and come on back and share your pictures. And we'll talk about what makes why this is a better picture than this one. And, so it was a lot of fun. We actually did it with them a couple different times and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of, it made me think different ways of how to make a picture a good picture. Because there's sometimes you see a picture in a magazine and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a gorgeous picture. But what is it about it that makes it be such a good, well put together picture? And until you really stop and think about it, why would you? And that's why I really appreciate, Glenn, what you do, because there is a lot that goes into that the average person doesn't take time to actually think about what pieces all go into that, and what's the photographer having to think of as they are doing what they do so well. Because when you take photos, you make it look easy. You just, boom, you've got this gorgeous photo here. Well, it didn't just happen by accident. There's a lot that went into that we don't know about,
Yeah, it's just not pointing the
Most of
camera
the
and
time,
pressing the
there's no,
button.
sorry.
Yeah, it's not just pointing the camera and pressing a button.
right?
You know, that's maybe just outside, maybe, but just what it looks like. But there's a lot more to that than.
Yeah.
But right, you reminded me, Sue, when you were saying about the photography and adaptive whatever. Here I met somebody in Texas. Isabel Grace Photography. I think they had an event this summer. They were promoting it a little bit. The Down for Smiles event. It's about taking pictures with Down syndrome people. So that just reminded me of that. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a lot of good groups out there, a lot of good people doing amazing things. And that's why I just was, it made me think of what, and I'm blanking on their names. It's actually driving me nuts here that I can't think of their names right now. That they're a great resource for anybody who thinks that photography can't be something they do because of whatever reason. They have a way, they know the different things that would make it a better experience and an accessible experience. And oh my goodness, I might have to step away for a second to try to come up with why I can't think of their names right now. I feel really bad. I should know it like anything, and it's just not in my head right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, Glenn, if I cut you off before.
Yeah, actually, what were you
I
gonna
was,
say?
I was too excited. But you can. If you're
Most of the time, I don't have time to think. Animals don't stop.
True.
They're moving around. If they stop, they're usually eating or sleeping.
So you need to have the reflex of what it needs to be to.
Yeah, most of the time I'm
practice
just
and-
trying to get the shot. I'm not really consciously thinking about how to make it better or anything. I'm trying to get the shot. If the animal stays still for 5 seconds, then I try to do a little bit of composition, but usually I'm just trying to get the shot. And it's all what I've learned through experience primarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is something that it takes a lot of experience to make it be that you can do what you're able to do. Because, gosh, there we go. Kurt just popped it in here. It's heartworkphotography.org. I'm going to click to them for just a second here because thank you, Kurt. Heartwork Photography and Art from the Heart classes. So that is something, they do outings and art classes where you can get out in nature, and they have right on their website here, nature photography for all abilities. So, and they even have a program that's cameras for kids so that they can help those who might not be able to afford the equipment. They've got ways to help connect people with that and to help make that passion a reality. So, oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm still actually blanking on their names. Oh my gosh. I feel so guilty right now. That I'm not getting that part.
I think Kurt put in the chat about Rick Waller.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Rick. Thank you, Rick and
Sure.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kurt. We all need an assist every once in a while. And he filled me in here. So yeah, they are amazing people. And actually they had gone on a trip across the country, and they were here in our yard for an afternoon. We got to actually, after talking to them on Zoom like this or on the phone, they actually were close enough, which I think they actually were a couple hours away. They made part of their trip. They came through here, so we actually could sit and talk and make that connection. They're such good people. So that's definitely worth sharing, that what they all do with heartworkphotography.org. We should catch up with them again someday and get them on here, because I haven't talked to them now in a while.
Did they take any pictures at your place, Sue? When they
actually not. Well, a kind of a selfie kind of thing. We took a group picture together while they were here. But I had the chance to take some fun pictures in the backyard. I remember the dog was still a puppy, so it was, the 2.5, 3 years ago. I think must have been 3 summers ago. And it was fun trying to get pictures with the dog. I remember taking pictures of flowers. I actually remember I had some fun little flying creatures around the flowers. So just, it was an excuse to go out and try, because there are so many fun pictures to be had. It's everywhere. You can see beauty all around, and to just take that time to do, I love photography. And have not really slowed down often to practice so I can get better at it. And they gave me an excuse to do that, and gave me feedback to help me get better at it. And that's something that is hard to come by, to have somebody who is good at it to slow down and say, okay, grid picture. Well, now here's something to consider for next time when you're taking similar pictures. So it increased that learning curve. And I think I said that backwards. It decreased the learning curve, because I didn't have to learn the hard way of it, how to make it better. I had somebody who could coach me a little bit to say, this is a way to do that. And this is a great picture. And if you do these little couple of tweaks next time when you're doing it, it would make it even better. I found that kind of feedback to be absolutely invaluable, because it's hard to come by.
Yeah. Well, Rick and however you pronounce her name,
Jury.
Jury, they're,
Yep.
they're always welcome to come on,
Oh,
So
yeah,
if they're interested, that is.
that
And
would be a
maybe we
good
could
thing
get
to
them
do.
on, maybe they could get them on, another time if Glenn comes out another time, we could get them to meet Glenn and everybody.
And actually, it
Yeah,
just
that'd
got me
be good.
thinking, we should go take a look at Glenn's website here too. If we want, we could even share that on here. Let me just pop that up real quick. And beautyofnature22.com. Oh, wow. You got some awesome pictures. Can I share your website on here? Is that
Yes,
okay if I
please.
do that?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I was on it too.
There's
and
a search bar at the top, I believe.
Very cool. Let's see, where am I? I have so many screens open right now. I'm just gonna do my whole screen. So I'm gonna share this, and
Yeah, you have some pretty amazing pictures because I was on it
Thank you.
before.
let's see, this was, you know what? I'm just gonna go here because I've got, like I said, I've got too many screens open. I'm gonna click again, back into yours. So Beauty of Nature. I just had scrolled down and I was seeing these. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, this looks
Yeah,
so
there's
familiar.
that picture.
Let me click here and see some of these. Here, I gotta move you guys
Oh,
over to the other
alligator.
side
They're
of my
listed
screen.
alphabetically.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna scroll through just slowly here. If there's any you want me to stop and click on, go ahead and say. I love this little guy looking right up at us. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Baby gray fox.
Oh, oh, the baby orangutan. Oh no.
He was having fun. Oh my gosh, and the badger's looking right. You have some really fun ones where you're getting critters basically looking right at you. That is so cool. And you know what? I can only imagine how long it took for that moment to happen that you were able to capture that too.
I don't stay in one spot all day. I keep moving around, and if there's a particular animal I'm trying to get, I will go back, especially if I'm at a zoo, I will keep going back to the same area. If I'm after a badger or a bear or red panda or whatever.
Mhm.
But out in the wild, it's you get it while it's there or you don't get it.
Right. Yeah, you're on their time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have some really gorgeous pictures here. My goodness.
Oh, the butterflies.
And actually, I was gonna say, I saw Big Manitou Falls there. Those looked familiar because when I was a teenager, we actually went and visited that same waterfall. And so back then, I just had the film kind of camera. I didn't have a digital camera. They weren't around yet. And
Yeah.
I was so excited to see the pictures that we got from that trip because it was so, so pretty. When did you take those? Is that something recent?
Most of these are several years old.
Okay.
Because I haven't had a car for 5 years. And I have, until this year, I wasn't going out and really taking photos. I didn't think there was much to get photos of in Beloit. But I decided to get photos of the goslings and ducklings this year. And I just started going around just to the confluence in South Beloit, to Riverside Park, about 2 miles from me. And then sometimes I can get stuff right behind the stadium, which is 2 blocks from me. Well, 3.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna keep scrolling if you don't mind with this
That's
because
fine.
they're gorgeous pictures here. So many fun ones.
A lot of them are at zoos, but there are quite a few wildlife ones too.
I like the dolphins. I'm partial to dolphins because we have relatives on Kurt's side that is their last name is actually Dolphin. So
Ah,
those stand out to me. Ooh, it's
Oh,
very
here's
regal
the
pictures
here's the
there.
eagle.
Yeah. Oh, how fun.
yeah, I have so many photos that I don't remember where each one is taken now.
Oh, wow. And that's fair. After a while, it's got to blend together a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, the fall colors. Love the fall colors.
Yeah. That's 'tis the season. It's coming up again here.
yep.
They're starting to turn really nice around here now. There's some bright colors that, oh my gosh, look at that fun little guy. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
There are
flamingo.
so many gorgeous
Okay.
critters. Wow. These are so pretty. Oh, yeah, I could look at these all day. Oh, and then look at little guys coming in. Okay, so whenever I see, I like the squirrel right here.
Yeah, Sue, don't show it to Minnie.
No, that's exactly what I was just thinking. Like, okay, our dog is looking for squirrels, and I'm hesitant to say that word out loud because sometimes if she hears me say that, that's enough for her to kind of take off and be like, what? Where are they? But that one looks like he's taking on the challenge.
Yeah. The one that says friends photo, the tortoise with the porcupine on his back.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
That was at the zoo in the Dells.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder how
They do shows every so often throughout the day, and they put the porcupine on the tortoise's back.
Oh my goodness. That is one of those like, really? How'd that happen? I love that. At least now we have the backstory where that came together. That is great. And I love giraffes. They are such a fun
Giraffe 4,
Mhm.
that one I used a special lens.
Oh my gosh. Does he look, I mean, how close?
It's actually a vertical photo, but my web host would only let me choose one orientation for all the photos.
I gotcha. Okay.
If you go into the item page,
Should I click
lower
on
in the
it?
page, it'll show the vertical photo.
Ah, okay.
But on this main page, it's all horizontal.
Gotcha.
Oh, there we go. There's some of the waterfalls.
Yeah. The power of nature. Oh. Okay, owls are gorgeous too. They also always have, I see them like, they've got this look like, I know something you don't know, and you're not going to know what I know.
Yeah, okay. Look
Great
at
blue
some
heron,
eyes.
I was 50 feet away.
Wow. Oh, those, around here, I've been seeing them more and more. And even I've actually seen them up surprisingly close. There's been some times, but we're driving by and they're like standing in the ditch or near the roadway. It's been fun. This last
They
year,
don't see
I've
a
seen
car as
so
a
many.
threat. A person is a threat, but a car isn't.
Which I hope they don't get too close. It's one of those, stay off the road. I don't want to see them get squished out there. Oh my gosh, the groundhog. You got some great pictures of them.
Thank you.
This little guy right here is like looking at you like, hey, what do you want? Hey.
Yeah, I'm so cute.
It's this for groundhog 1 through 6. It's all the same individual.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
The many
Right after-
personalities there.
That's all within a span of 10-15 minutes.
Nice. How cool. Okay, and I gotta say, I love the mane on on the horse 11 photo.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, horses are quite majestic too.
That horse was the naughty horse. At
Oh,
the time I was still married,
Jeez.
we went to a friend of a friend's place to see the horses and get photos. And that horse actually started unbuttoning my wife's shirt
Oh no.
with his lips.
Be Being a little mischievous there. Oh, very pretty.
Ooh, lighthouses.
Yeah. Lions. Can't say enough good things about lions. They're always fun to watch too. Oh, look at this. I love number 6. And today is Save Your Photos Day. So I'm
Mhm.
sitting here looking at some of these thinking, oh, I've got a picture of a lizard too. I wonder where that is. Beautiful birds. Meerkats are so fun. Oh, look at the look on that guy. He just
Mhm.
looks so curious. Oh, okay. Now I want to go take pictures.
I'll go to the monkey and I'll have monkey. Oh, mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, monkeys are so diverse. My goodness. There's so
But-
many different varieties. And you
Mhm.
think you've seen them all. And then you see pictures like I've never seen one that looks like that. They're so
I haven't seen one that
amazing.
look. I haven't seen one that looked like 2 and 3 of that gold color.
Wow.
Golden lion, tamarin, I think.
Very, very fun. Oh, and then the landscapes. Yeah, these are great. Oh, the little possum. And I'm seeing this, that kind of reminds me, I don't know what the website is, but I know there's websites out there where you can watch eagles nesting, eagles, hawks.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's fun to see those. There's somebody I work with that a lot of times during her lab classes, she'll have that on in the background just for something interesting to have on the screen while they're doing their thing, doing their lab work or whatever. And she'll have that on in the background. So, and I don't think of it very often, but when I see this, like, oh yeah, she does that pretty often.
I got tons of pelican photos this year. This year, pelicans have been hanging around Beloit. They're gone now, but they were
Oh,
around all summer.
excellent. And that's a unique thing. You're not going to see that often.
No, not in Beloit.
Mm-mm. And it's International Rabbit Day. So here we go, celebrating them. Oh, interesting. The red fox is a really unique looking guy there. Look at that. Huh.
Yeah, he hadn't shed all of his winter coat yet.
The red panda. Oh. Think about all the diverse animals that are out there. There's such amazing variety.
Mhm.
Mm. Oh, I like this reflection 1 photo. What a gorgeous picture.
That was up at the edge of Ashland.
Okay. Got to go up north to get those. Yeah, somewhere I actually have, I remember being on a trip to New York and we were at the top of the Empire State Building and I'm taking pictures just because what a view from up there, right? There's a pigeon that lands right in front of me. I love that picture where I've got this pigeon is looking like right my direction, right in front of me. And then it's the massive landscape beyond him. It's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. Oh, and the robin's eggs. I'm so glad we have a chance to look through here and see. Oh, and the sandhill crane, I've seen a lot of them around this year.
Mhm.
He looks so relaxed. That seal number 3 photo. He's just
It's hard to get photos of the seals. They move so fast.
Yeah. I agree.
They
I've
peek their
tried.
head up and then they're back down as soon as they peek up.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any special places in winter that you like to go to take pictures? Is there anything different about winter versus summertime for you?
Yes. I like to go to Cassville. It's right on the Mississippi. It's really close to Iowa.
Okay.
They have a park right along the Mississippi, and there's trees on both sides of the river that the eagles will roost in.
Oh,
and
wow.
They have a wildlife blind right in the park, so you can watch the eagles and not scare them away. There's a tree about 800 feet north of the blind where you can get decent shots of an eagle. There's a tree 200 feet south of the blind where if you are there at the right time, you can get a really good shot of an eagle.
Wow. And being
I
as in
haven't
winter,
been back there since I got better lenses, so whenever I get a car again and be able to go during the winter time, I can't do it now, even renting a car, because the weather changes so much in the winter, and trying to plan ahead for the right day is
Mhm.
next to impossible.
Well, these sure are beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so beautyofnature22.com. Great place to go and see see all of what you've done and what you've, oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. So I hope we can see a lot of people going there and seeing all the amazing things you've done, and you've got things that people can purchase on there so they can have a way to have that picture for themselves to be able to enjoy
Well, they can
ongoing.
experience nature vicariously.
Yes. Yeah, because all the cool things. I love it. So, well, I should ask, I know we're winding down here. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about what you've done, what you do, and any messages you'd like to share with everyone? I know we've talked about a lot, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
open the door to see if you had any other thoughts on the top of your mind.
Not that I can think of right now.
All good. Well, and we are here every Saturday from 1 to 3. So if you ever want to come back, you are always welcome to join us here. Emily, I'm going to pass it over to you too. Is there anything else that I am forgetting about? Any fun things coming up? I know there's activities coming up. So you want to share some events again to make sure that's on top of everyone's minds?
Well, just a reminder about the Global Happy Summit next Friday with the Happy Neighborhood Project. Also, in like a week or two here, week and a half, is the Afro International Film Festival in Atlanta. So if anybody is interested in that, and yeah, I encourage everybody to attend or at least support the things that we've talked about today, since they're all great organizations. And yeah, I also wanted to thank our few partners of Marcus Hart, Transforming Media, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, and Lawrence Wingate Studios for their support of the show and replaying our shows on their platforms. So I think that's what I have to say at the moment.
Well, and I did put the link to the website for the Afro International Film and Market Festival. So it's onefilm1marketsummit.org. So that is in the chat there, so people can go check that out. Because yeah, that's coming up. I believe the dates are October 12th to the 14th. Do I have that right? 12th to the 14th. So that's coming up pretty quick now. It's just around the corner, taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. So, and online. So you don't have to be in Georgia, but if you do, advantage you, you can go actually in person and see everything that's going on. But it is also available online. So check it out at that website so you can get all those details. So we've got that. We got the Global Happiness Summit. Did we get that link in here as well? What is the link to that one? Do you want to pull that up and share that on in the chat there for everyone? And I'm trying to think, are we missing any other events coming up? I feel like there was something else we should be mentioning. Obviously, always with Project Die Hard, supporting them. That's projectdiehard.org. Projectdiehard.org is always a good place to go. We'll be having, actually, I'll pass that back to you. When is the Monday updates? We were going to have Mission Mondays, which is a podcast for Project Die Hard. When day are they starting back up again?
The relaunch of the Project Die Hard Mission Monday is November 6th. Monday, November 6th at 6:30 p.m. Central.
Excellent. And also, thank you, Kurt, for the reminder. With Project Die Hard, we are having a posting party on October 26th. So actually, I'll pass that back again one more time. Do you want to describe for us what is a posting party? What are we talking about?
So for those of you who don't know, a posting party is where you make a post on, let's say, LinkedIn or Facebook. And then you're made with a group of however many people. And you'd post your link in the chat, like the Zoom chat if you're all in Zoom. And then everybody else in the room would go to your link and like share, comment, and so on your post. And it's a way to get more exposure on your post, and so on. So because that person, so you would get however many people were in the room, all of them sharing and commenting on it, plus hopefully it's like their contacts and stuff seeing it too. So but besides your own.
With how social media works, yeah, the more activity that happens on a post, the way that's just the way it works, that more people will see it if there's more activity on it. So it's a great way to get exposure for your business, for your activity, for your event, for whatever it is that you're looking to promote that day. So Glenn, that's something, if you want to come on there too, we'd be happy to share that with
link
you.
for that?
Do we have that yet?
I think it's on the same link that we're on right now.
Okay, so we're hosting it
I
here.
think it's
So
gonna be the same link.
Okay.
perfect. So that's on Zoom, and it's basically, if you're going to join the room, you're joining the room called Ability Now. So come on here on Monday, October 26th. Oh, actually, what time is that at? I believe that was going to be in the late afternoon.
2:30.
Oh, it's in the earlier afternoon. So 2:30 p.m. So posting party is 2:30 p.m. Central on October 26th. I'm just adding that into the chat there as well. Okay, and then, yeah, Kurt did share one more again, October 31st. So Halloween, we have a workshop to attend with Steve Ramona. He is an absolutely phenomenal podcaster that has seen some amazing success, and he is gifting this workshop time with us where we can go and basically pick his brain a little bit about all the things that he does and how he does it. And just to be able, again, we were talking earlier about being able to shorten up that route from where you are to being successful at what it is that you're wanting to do. I mean, we're doing a podcast here. We want to be successful like what he's doing. So he is opening that door up to be able to spend some time with him and talk to him about how he's doing what he's doing. So anyone interested in learning more about how to do successful podcasting, and it's going to be more and more popular. People like doing podcasting and tuning into them. So he is offering his time on October 31st so that we can talk to him and get some insights from the man himself. So Steve is a great guy and is been just a phenomenal friend of our show. And I know Kurt's been a guest on his show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I definitely hope we can get a good group together there on October 31st as well. So with that, Emily, any last words? Oh, you're muted though. I can't hear you.
Seriously, that unmute button. But anyway, not sure if I have too much other than encouraging everybody to join us next week if you're available or anytime. Yeah, hope to see everybody next time or whenever.
Thanks for
Excellent.
having me on.
Awesome, Glenn. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing with us, sharing all about you and your talents and letting us take a good look at all those amazing pictures. Actually, you want to hold up your eagle one more time? Is that still handy by you?
Yeah.
That is such a pretty picture there. Ah, that is gorgeous. So with that beautiful final note, thank you so much, Glenn. Thanks for being here and hope to have you join us again, whether it's here on World of Ability or on one of our other shows as well. So we will we'll definitely be in touch. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. Again, my name is Sue Roskoff for Kurt, Emily, Glenn, and we had Debbie joining us earlier. What a fun group we had today. I'm so excited on it's International Podcasting Day. So what a great way to celebrate that. Thank you so much.